Welcome to the Pink Lady Against Scammers podcast. Well, hello, everybody. I'm so excited about my guest today. Her name is Krista Melanson.
Melanson.
Thank you. I apologize.
No problem.
And she is an online dating coach. I am so excited to hear what she has to say today. Krista, welcome to my podcast.
Thanks so much, Patsy. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm really happy to be here too.
Awesome. So give us a little background about yourself, and then we're going to get into all the cool stuff that you do.
Awesome. Well, I am, I like to say I'm a recovering chef. I can still cook. I just don't like to anymore. And I spent years in the kitchens, and you know what? I got out of cooking because I wanted to have a family, and I couldn't imagine doing all that, physical labor in the hot stove or whatever, pregnant. So I got out of that, and I'm kind of done a few things. Then I went to work for an airline because I absolutely love to travel. And, the airline job was probably my dream job right up until COVID hit. And then we went from 800 flights a day to 20 flights a day, and I
Wow.
was not senior enough to keep my job. So, and then, during COVID, you reset and regroup and try and figure out what it is you want to do. And before COVID, I was fortunate enough to meet my perfect partner. And, life was amazing. Even being locked down with him, we're stuck on top of each other for months, and it was amazing, and it changed my life having him as part of my life. And so I thought, you know what, I want to share what I have learned and what I have accomplished to help other people do the same, because to me, I know that dating can be really stressful and unpleasant, right? I used
Yes.
to say, you know I met him when I was 50. So I was not a spring chicken. I was a single mom of 3 kids and working 3 jobs or whatever. And and I used to say that online dating was soul crushing and humiliating and demoralizing, right?
It can be.
It can be all of those things, but I am living proof that it can also be successful. And I really want to make sure everybody knows that it is worth it when you do find that person.
Oh, awesome. I like to have good stuff on here, not just talking about the scamming. I know that online dating does work for people. I have a couple friends who it worked for.
Yep.
So you are an online dating coach. You're on now. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's like I said, it's can be really unpleasant, and it's hard to kind of lose sight of the prize, but there are really lots of great people out there. And I know, because I work with men too, men think that women have it easy and women think that men have it easy. And, my line is that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and they just need a translator, right?
I love it.
Right. And so there is a way to make it more pleasant or more tolerable. And it's a reframing of your mindset and your expectations. And I'm not saying lower them. I would never ever say that in a million years, but reframing your expectations so that you're not looking for that 6'4", blonde haired, blue eyed, Greek god,
Yep.
because they're probably jerks anyways. But there aren't a lot of those around. And for me, it wasn't until I sort of tweaked my choices, my preferences, right, that I met my partner, who I wouldn't have met if I kept it at certain criteria. And so it's so very, very important for people to be aware of the difference between a deal breaker and a preference, right? Like
Hmm.
smoking could be a deal breaker, but I'll use myself as an example because then I don't have to worry about offending anyone. But height is a preference, right? So I always wanted somebody who was taller than me. And the reason for that was not because of them, but because of me, because I spent my whole life feeling kind of, and I'm only 5'8", but my dad always said, "Oh, you're so tall and big, and isn't that great?" And I'm like, those aren't good qualities in a woman, right? So I always sort of felt awkward. And so I didn't want somebody who was shorter than me because I thought it's just going to make me feel even bigger. And but then, I eliminated so many people by doing that, right? And
Yep.
so I tweaked it a little bit. And I always say to women, if you put that somebody has to have a college degree, well, what if you meet an incredibly intelligent, really well-read carpenter who is a master of his craft, right? I mean, he could just be this wonderful person who you would click with, but if you've set the filter at college degree, he's not getting in there.
That's
So
right.
you really need to be sure of what a preference is versus a deal breaker.
Yeah. So how did you put your dating profile together? Because you met your partner on Tinder.
I did.
I love
So,
it. I love it. So how did you put like, I did a dating profile, but it was strictly out of curiosity and stuff. And I was very honest in there. I
mhm.
just said, because I'm 60 and that was 7 years ago. And I just put in there, look, I need time with my friends and you need time with your friends. I don't have a problem with that because we both need our friends, but we don't need them all together. You go do your thing, I'll do my thing, and then we'll come back together. That has always been my thoughts on it because my friends are very important to me.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny you say that because I was never on the dating sites. And then my 17-year-old daughter comes to me and goes, Mother, I think you need to be on Tinder. And I said, I do not. That's a hookup site. And they said, No, Mother, that's Grinder. We're talking about Tinder. And I'm like, Oh, I don't know anything about that. So she actually was the one who set me up with my first dating profile.
Cool. I
And
love it.
I'll be honest with you, I have no recollection of what that profile looked like. But I went through a bunch of different permutations. Like I had the dating profile that said, do not send me dick pics.
Yeah.
Do not, if you're looking for a one night stand, I'm not the right person. Do not message me with a one word, hey, and all these things. I went through that because I was angry because it was all these jerks doing stupid things. And then I went through a stage, a very short stage. I did a social experiment. I kept all my pictures, my bio, everything the same, but I changed my age from 50 to 42 just to see.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I fessed up immediately, but to see how many more hits I would get. And I got so many more hits.
Hmm.
And I would always say, they'd say, Hey, it's nice to meet you. And I'd reply and I'd say, Hey, just want to let you know I'm conducting a social experiment. I am not 42. I'm actually 50. None of them minded, but they
Cool.
all had their profile set to flag women like 48 and younger.
Yeah.
So look at, they were missing me. How awesome am I, right? And because they thought they wanted something different.
Yeah.
So I went through the permutations, but the most important thing for a dating profile is to keep it short and keep it interesting and keep the mystery in there, right? It should never, ever read like a resume. I've done this, I do that, I have this, I have that, right? These are things that you get to know about somebody as you're dating and you start to, if you meet, and this has been my example that I've been using a lot lately, if you're standing in the grocery store and you're looking at the apples and there's a nice looking man beside you and you start talking and he asks you out, in that conversation, does he ask you if you have kids, if you have a college degree, what you want in life, what kind of relationship, right? And
He
that's all
sees that you like apples.
exactly, right? And so a dating app really should just be a place to meet somebody. And it shouldn't be long term. I always recommend, and a lot of people think this is crazy, but really the best way to maximize your success with the dating app is when you match with somebody and start talking to them, meet them for coffee within a week or 2 weeks maximum,
Hmm.
right? You don't want a pen pal, you want somebody who is willing to meet you. And the first meet is not the first date. The first meet is going out for coffee so that you can establish that they don't have three heads, hopefully determine that they are not a serial killer,
Hmm.
right? And see
Yes.
if there's any chemistry. And if there is, then you're ready for the first date. If not, you've wasted, and you haven't even wasted, you've spent 30 minutes of your life making a connection with the new person who's not the right person, and you block them and move on to the next person.
That's fantastic. This is right. This is advice is wonderful. I have to ask, how old is your partner?
He's 4 years younger than me.
I love it. I
I'm a
love it.
boy toy. And you know what? Most people tell me I look younger than him.
So you do not look the age that you said. You look younger to me. So
I'm 56. I'm gonna be 57 and on the 17th. So my birthday's coming up. But
oh, well, happy early birthday.
thank you. I have good genes. My mom was very, very young looking, and my mom
Yeah.
taught me to drink lots of water and use moisturizer every day, right? And my dad was also really young, so I'm very fortunate that way. And my partner, he is so youthful, but he worked outside a lot of his life. So he's got the crow's feet, and I don't have any crow's feet. So it's
Yes.
just those little things that are very much superficial, but at first glance, sometimes people think he's older than me. So
Now, do you have like a website or any place that people can go to read all your stuff or contact you or anything?
well, my main meeting point, I guess, is just my Facebook profile, and it's Krista Melanson, just my name. But I also have a group which is called Dating Success Secrets for Women Over 40 Looking for Love. And that's just a group that is only single women. I turn a lot of married women away because I don't know what they're in there, why they want to get in there. I had somebody recently requested, and she said, I'm from Africa and I have this experience and I am married now, but I could share. And I said, no, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
And absolutely no men are allowed in that group. And no men bashing either allowed in that group. This is a forum for women to talk to each other. And, somebody will post and say, hey, I went on a first date with this guy and he did this. What do you think? Right. And I'll weigh in, and, 10 other people will weigh in. And it's really just, it's a support group for women to talk about their issues with dating and, have access to me because I'm always in there answering questions. And that's the main thing. I mean, I don't have a website. I have a landing page for
Mhm.
my program that I'm offering right now, but I don't have a web page or a website because I was always taught from my business coaches that spending money on that is just not necessary. It's bells and whistles
Yeah.
and it's expensive.
The
And so,
Facebook group is perfect.
yeah,
There are so many, I belong to several ones for not this topic, Star Trek and stuff like that.
nice.
But no, I think the Facebook page is great. You can share information, meet other women who are kind of in the same boat as you.
Absolutely. And they're all over 40. So I mean, we've got a variety. We've got one girl, she's lovely. I think it's okay to say this if I don't say her name.
Don't say her name.
No, I won't say her name,
Yeah.
but she's a lovely woman, but she's 6'2".
Oh,
And she says it's so hard to meet men. And I mean, I've even gone to her city because I have access to the stuff, and she's my friend also on Facebook. I went to her city and found a meetup for tall people, and all of this stuff. But you can just imagine, nowadays people are open to receiving or whatever. But I think she's around. I think she's late 50s, and a man from our age group may very well want that little petite, and that may be what she runs into. Not all men do, for sure. All
right.
men, there's somebody for everybody, right?
Yeah.
um, but she finds she just runs into a lot of guys who find her height intimidating, and she'll talk about that, and we talk, and we banter back and forth, and she puts stuff in the group and everything, and it's just, there's a variety of different reasons why women struggle or come upon issues in dating, and absolutely none of them are because they are inadequate. It is because they're different and maybe not suited to the person that they match with.
Right.
But every single one of us are amazing in our own way. I mean, we made it this far in life, man. We are great.
That's
We've
right.
accomplished things. We've got careers and family and all that stuff. And to the right person, we're going to be, it'll be perfect. And, using myself again as an example, my partner had been married for 30 years. And it was kind of a loveless marriage. It was long gone before. And they were separated before I came along, but they didn't have children. And he was very clear that he didn't want a woman who had children. And then he met me. And, we talked about this when we were just sort of chatting back and forth when we first met each other, and, via text, but meeting in person. Of course, nowadays you have all your important conversations via text. And I said, well, I just reread your profile and this is what you said. I said, maybe we're not a match. And he said, I did say that, but he said, let's see where it goes. And I said, okay. I said, that's all I ask. You don't
Yeah.
have to decide right now if we're going to live together, if we're going to get married, if we're going to have a dog or a cat, or we're going to do anything. But just being open to, hey, let's see where it goes is the most important part, I think.
Yes. Yes. This is great. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and talk about this. I can't wait to release this episode and tell all my TikTok people, check it out. Again, thank you so much. And
My
any
pleasure.
last parting words that you want to lay on everybody?
Well, you know what? My motto is embrace yourself so somebody else can too. So make sure you love yourself first, and then the rest will fall into place.
I love that. That is perfect. Thank you so much, Krista.
Thank you, Patsy. It was a pleasure visiting with you.
Well, that was some awesome advice from Krista. If I were interested in online dating, I would be real excited about writing a new profile, but I'm not. I have too much to do. Also, I probably mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's important. You will see on TikTok and you will see on Instagram, that I know for sure, these guys who will say that they are cyber hackers and they can get your money back. They can't. It's a scam. And I have a story posted on my blog all about it where my alter ego Suzanne played along with him. So anyway, don't believe any of that. When I see them posting on my TikTok videos, I block them and then I remove the comment because I don't want my followers to think that they're legit because they're not. And we talk about that on my lives all the time as well. So don't fall for them. They can't get your money back. Really, unfortunately, nobody can get your money back. Okay. And regarding my t-shirts, I know I was trying to give those out for free. Due to the volume of people that wanted them, I have had some send me money for postage, and those I will get done. I'm speaking to someone on Tuesday. And if you are on TikTok and you follow Chad Huber, who also does similar to what the rest of us are doing, fighting scammers with humorous ways. He's humorous like me. So anyway, I'm contacting the lady that does his merchandise, and we're going to talk on Tuesday. I need to send this out for somebody else to take over because I don't have the time. I like the personal touch of me doing them because I have a Cricut machine, but I realize I've overextended myself and I need to dedicate more time to my videos here and my TikTok and my stories and sharing information. So I'm going to talk to her on Tuesday. We're going to negotiate a price. I am not taking a commission on this to keep the price down because I wasn't going to charge before, and I'm going to talk to her to see what kind of deal we can work out. She seems very enthusiastic to talk to me. We texted last night. So I will let you all know when what happens and when this is going to take place. But as I said, I'm going to make sure the price is low because I don't. Before I don't do the shirts to make. I don't do any of this to make money. I do this to spread awareness. It's my passion project and to educate. Because we all need a little education about some of this stuff sometimes. So anyway, so that's what's happening with the shirts. Now with my swag that I send along with the shirts, I will still be sending that out. I have bumper stickers and I have a few other items that I'm not going to tell you about. So I will still send the swag, but once she has this all set up on her site, there will be a link on my link tree and TikTok. Plus, I'll post it everywhere. And basically, she's going to take care of everything, getting the shirts made and mailed out. and I can almost promise that she's going to get them out a heck of a lot quicker than I can, because I don't want to hold up, and I get people asking when am I going to get my shirt, and it's time consuming, and me trying to pay for it all I realized was too much. So I'm going to make sure you get a fair price, and everything will go through her. And again, I get nothing on this, no money. I get the pleasure of knowing that you actually want to wear one of my t-shirts. That's good enough for me. And your free advertisement as well, so that people will want to come and visit all of us on TikTok and all the other cohorts that I work with, which I want to talk about. If you're on TikTok, follow Coastal Cowboy 79. He is phenomenal. We hooked up a couple months ago. He came in on one of my lives, and it started with my videos, and because he loves them, and he does his own thing, scam hunting, scam baiting, whatever you want to call it. And then there's also IB Princess 56. That's Miss Yvette. She does her thing of educating everybody on romance scams. And then there's SYB. She also does the same thing. We all are out to educate everyone, and we all do it in different ways. Plus, if you join Coastal Cowboy on TikTok, follow him on, let's see, Sundays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He gives us little education classes on how some of this scam stuff works, and how to use things such as Grabify, which he will also put out on his YouTube channel and his Rumble channel. But come and attend one of those, because and after his little show's over, then we go live and we all just chat, talk, share information. My lives are always on Saturdays at 7 and Wednesdays at 6 Central Standard Time, because I'm in Missouri. And again, we talk about anything and everything. We talk about this. People share their stories, but we also have a good time. We do a dance party sometimes, and I try to make it fun and interesting. We joke around a lot, but we get into intense conversations about this and the education of this. So that's it for today. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Stay safe out there, and remember, they don't love you. They love your money.